Cinderella and the Glass Sneaker. Cinderella was the youngest of Mr. and Mrs. Rella's children. Each morning, his mother and father would go off to work in their small store. Each afternoon, his two brothers would go off to football practice in the local park. And each day, after school, Sidney was left to do the chores. "We all have our jobs to do," his mother would say. Today, his brothers were trying out for the town football team, but when Cinderella begged to go with them, they only laughed. "You're too small to play, and besides, who'd want you on the team?" Cinderella wished more than anything else in the world he could play on the team. "But how can I? I always have so much work to do." A small person hiding behind a bush motioned to Cinderella to come closer. "Psst." "Sorry I couldn't get here sooner," he said. "I was helping a friend get a poor girl ready to go to a prince's ball. Boy, did she have two ugly sisters, and I mean ugly." Spring is our busiest season for wishing, what with all the school exams, football games, stock market losses. Now what was it you were wishing for? Oh yes, a new milking machine. "No, I wasn't. I was wishing I could try out for the football team. But I have so much work, I'll never finish in time." The small man waved his wand. There was a sudden flash. When Sidney opened his eyes, the porch was swept, the floors were swept, the dishes were washed, and the dog was half asleep. "Hey, are you Superman?" Cinderella asked. "I'm your fairy godfather. I'm here to make sure that you go to the ball. I mean, the football tryouts. So go." But Cinderella didn't move. "I have no uniform." "That's easy to fix. Bring me a tomato, a pineapple, and a pear," the small man said, and with a wave of his wand, the fruit was changed into a beautiful uniform. "This isn't a football uniform," Cinderella complained. "You're right, I should have used a carrot instead of a pear. Next time. Make sure you're home by 6 o'clock, or your clothes will disappear off your back." Cinderella was home long before 6 o'clock. He was all excited. His fairy godfather was waiting for him. "I made the team," Sidney shouted. "Terrific," said his godfather. He waved his wand and Cinderella had on his own clothes again. Then his godfather disappeared. At dinner that night, the two brothers could only talk about football practice and the new player who could run as fast as the wind and catch a football as easily as breathing. Sidney quietly ate his soup. The following week, after school, Cinderella was helping his brothers put on their uniforms. "Well, today's the big game, kid. Too bad you won't be there." No sooner had they gone than Cinderella's fairy godfather appeared. First, he made sure all the work in the house was done. "Now, let's see what the book says for a football uniform. A large pumpkin and 4 mice. No, that's for footmen in a golden carriage. Here it is, football uniform. I'll need a carrot and a tomato and 2 bananas for your glass sneakers. Cinderella returned with his arms full. His godfather waved his wand, and Cinderella stood fully dressed in the most beautiful, sparkling football uniform and glass sneakers. Again, his fairy godfather warned him, "Be sure to be home by 6 o'clock, or your beautiful football uniform will disappear." At the ball field, the stands were full. Cinderella took his place in the lineup. Each time the football was passed to him, he ran for a touchdown. During the last minute of play, the clock in the tower struck 6. Sidney ran with the ball for a final touchdown and kept right on running till he reached home. At dinner, his brothers could only talk about the game and the mysterious player who had won the trophy for their town, in his underwear no less. "The coach is going from house to house now, looking for the player whose foot fits the sneaker," a brother said. When the coach arrived at the Rella house, the sneaker didn't fit either of Sidney's brothers. As the coach was about to leave, he saw Cinderella hiding behind a chair. "How about you, young man?" "Oh, don't bother with him," said one brother. "He can't play football or even catch," said the other. But the coach insisted, "I must try the sneaker on everybody." Cinderella tried on the glass sneaker. His foot slid right into it. It also matched his other sneaker. The coach invited Cinderella to attend a special dinner that very evening, where the mayor presented him with a gold trophy. Cinderella grew up to be one of the best football players in the country. He went on to law school and became a famous judge. And then president of a large corporation that manufactures laces for footballs.